So the Bureau of Labor Statistics in February 10th summarized it pretty neatly. They say, and I quote, real average hourly earnings decreased 1.7%, seasonally adjusted, from January 21 to January 22. The change in real average hourly earnings combined with a decrease of 1.4% in the average work week resulted in a 3.1% decrease in real average weekly earnings over this period. I know that's not the intention, but isn't it true, let's start with Dr. Rouse, that most low and middle income workers have experienced a bigger rise in the cost of the things they need to buy than in their incomes?
Well, I appreciate the concern very much, Senator, and we're all very concerned about inflation and appreciate that is, the purview of the Fed in the short term, and it's important that we have a full slate of governors. I just would like to point out the chart on the far right.
Okay, I'm sorry, but look, we all know that the number of governors is adequate to do whatever they need to do about inflation. So let's not go there.
Okay, so let's look at this chart on the far.
But can you confirm the simple fact that for most workers, wages are not rising as fast as prices?
So some recent estimates by economists Emmanuel Saez and Zuckman suggest that actually, if we look at the bottom 50% of workers, that their market income before taxes and benefits is greater now than it was in Q4 2019. And you can look, if you look after taxes and benefits, that they're actually ahead. So
is your position? So we saw the number of 7.5% as the most recent annual rate of inflation. We also know that low and middle income people have a worse experience than that because they pay a disproportionate amount of their income for things that are rising more rapidly than 7.5, like gasoline, like groceries. Are you telling me that you think that the average worker in America is more than keeping up with inflation?
So what we know is that look, inflation is not, we do not want to see this level of inflation going forward. And that's why the president is focused on doing what he can. We'd like, the Federal Reserve is likely to adjust how its posture has been towards inflation. But we do know that household balance sheets, because of the efforts of the federal government, the Federal Reserve, have been maintained through this pandemic, which is what is reflected in this chart on the left.
Okay, I'm surprised that we can't candidly acknowledge the obvious. Wages are not growing as fast as prices for the large majority of workers, and these workers are falling behind. Yes, if you have a lot of accumulated assets, they've appreciated in value, and you're probably doing fine. But the Americans I'm concerned about in this case are those who don't have a huge accumulated asset.